we'll kick things off. We'll go ahead and get started. If you, for some reason, haven't heard of Zenlist or you haven't signed up yet, I always bury this lead. You can sign up through your MLS dashboard. You can go right to zenlist.com, create your account. It's a free benefit that San Francisco kindly provides to all of you. So if you're brand new, this is your first time hearing about us or first time using it, that's kind of the spiel on how to get started. And when you sign up, you'll be brought to a screen that looks similar to this. So it'll have your navigation over on the left, your clients are here, and then the listings that are populating are based on the search criteria for each individual person. I'll show you what it looks like in the mobile app. Everything's cross-compatible. You can do almost everything in both places. And if there's something you can't do in one, I'll be sure to point it out. But if you're following along in the mobile app, that navigation will be across the bottom, but everything's pretty cross-compatible. Uh, Starting on web is a little bit simpler because you can see where I'm clicking. The screen's a little bit bigger.
You see
And
my motivation. My motivation was starting on the bigger screen, right? And,
well, and I'm biased. I like my mouse and my keyboard and my
yeah, me
screens. I
too.
like my chair. I'm not one to work from my phone, but there are folks out there that do. So,
Well, and it's absolutely for that. The other thing I forgot to mention, so chat is off, but just drop any questions in Q&A. We'll be sure to address those. Just drop the Q&A, any questions in Q&A if we don't cover anything. And then without further ado, I'm going to get out of the way here. Jessica, go ahead. Thanks.
yeah, definitely. All right, so starting off, I always like to start in the search tab. So in that main navigation, you'll have your search tab here. When you open the mobile app, it'll actually default to your search. And this is where a lot of things are going to start. This is where I would recommend setting up a client when you're first setting up a new buyer or a new seller that you're working with. This is where you're going to come to search for broker tours. This is going to be where you come to look for some market insights, to find a specific listing. There's a lot that happens in this search tab. And so we'll start here. I'll switch over to my California combined layer, which is my preferred layer. That combines all of the MLSs into one single search. So whether it's a Barry's, an MLS listings, a San Francisco listing, whichever MLS it originates from, this California combined layer provides it all in one single nice consolidated search. You'll have all your filters that you can search by. You can search for a specific filter, and they are hyper localized too. So things like BMR, anything that is important to you, you can search for it and it'll provide that filter for you to choose from. Or you can also just scan through the list. We should have everything that you need. And if there's something we're missing, definitely let us know. But we haven't heard any of those requests in a while. So I think we've got all the heavy hitters. And then your locations are going to be across the very top. These are your cities, your towns, counties, zip codes. If schools are important, you can search by school district or county, specific high school, elementary school here, if that's what you need to. And you'll also notice in the filters, you have your San Francisco districts. So you can search for all of those districts or sub-districts if you need to. Maybe you want all of District 1 and only some of District 2. You can include or exclude whatever those locations are that you need. So whichever one works best for your brain, there's no right or wrong answer. Whichever one you have memorized better, I suppose,
Well,
you
with the
can
amount of
search for.
inventory that we have, we generally are looking at everything, and then we kind of swoop down. We are 7 by 7 by 7. We're kind of landlocked a little bit. But one of the things that you buried the lead a little bit. So you're telling me that you get access to the entire NorCal data set right here. So that includes every listing from Sacramento to Monterey. So that includes
Hmm.
the broker tours. That if you want to look at broker tours in the East Bay, you can see them there. Now that the schedule is different than here in San Francisco, and vice versa. If you want to look at any properties that are added from MLS listings, for example, they're here. I do know that several people have their own agent websites and all that, and there's different data that's available in those sites. I'd really encourage you, those that are looking for a comprehensive way to showcase the MLS data to your clients, this is really it because it has access to all of that information. And
Hmm.
on purpose, this is how we built it.
Yeah. And you may also notice we have all of the coming soon listings as well. So you and your clients can access those all through the Zenlist interface. Clicking on a listing brings you to the listing details page. This is the photo view, my personal favorite. It prioritizes the photos, any virtual tours or videos that are added, and then all of your listing details are over on the right. But at the very top, there's also an agent or a compact view, which is a little bit more familiar to what you're used to seeing in your MLS interface. It will prioritize the fields that have been entered. So it'll give you a nice kind of scannable sheet or a nice digestible format of all that same listing information. And you can also print this here if you need to. So if you need to print a listing sheet, highly encourage against it. Let's save the trees, save the planet, one listing page at a time. But if you need that, you can also print it here. I'm going to circle back to the listing details page and I want to stick on the search for just a little bit longer. As you're adding your different filters, it'll update the listings that you're seeing over here on the right. So if I come in and I need to change, maybe it's my property type, maybe they're just looking for a condo, so I'll remove everything else. I can add my price range. It's going to update the property pins that I'm seeing over here. So as I'm adding my client's criteria, I can see how it impacts the number of overall listings they're going to be seeing. And I can also preview this in a couple of different ways. So this is your map view. It's up in the very top right-hand corner. There's also a tile view. Again, my personal favorite. I like the photos. But there's also a list view, and this can be customized to whatever you prioritize information-wise. You can update the columns, add or remove different fields that are important, and it gives you a bunch of other sort options as well, so you can sort high to low in a bunch of different ways. And then once you're ready to save your search, you can click to save in the very top right. And this is just asking you who their search is for. So you'll always be at the very top of your list of clients. Not that you are a client, but this replaces the need to invite yourself as a client in order to get property notifications. So if you just want to stay on top of your area, you want to kind of pre-scan listings before you send them to a client, you just want to get those to yourself so that you don't have to go in and proactively check the MLS every morning. You can save it under your name without having to invite yourself as a client. I highly recommend against that. It creates some confusion and some roadblocks along the way. If you want a test client, I recommend inviting a real person, someone you live with, a good friend, a partner, someone that you trust to be that first test client. You can always delete them and replace them with someone else down the road.
Did
But
the same
have
thing. Yeah, I invite my wife, and much to her chagrin over the years, she's received many property updates from several different platforms. So, so, but I think your comment is right on. I always say the time to learn an application and how your client perceives that application is not when they come back and when they're asking you about these listings. Set somebody else up so you can see the ecosystem. Because these are all different ecosystems. What you might be doing in rapid only prospecting is different what you're going to be doing in Zenlist. What's different what you're doing in the Coldwell Bankers application or Compasses or Corcoran. It's up to you to eat that dog food so that you know what your client sees. So when they ask you questions, you're coming at it from a very informed perspective versus, I don't know, what properties did you see? So, so Jesse's right. Set somebody else up, or how about you set up your own personal email as another client so that you get that experience, that duality, so to speak.
hmm So if you need to set someone up, you'll have a list of clients you've already invited. Those will populate. You can have as many searches running to a single client as you need. But we can also set a new client up here, and this will just ask you for that client's contact info. So if my client is Susie Sunshine, we'll enter her first, last name, and email address. Highly recommend the phone number. We're never going to sell or spam, and nothing's going to happen to your client data. It is entirely safe to put inside of Zenlist. The only thing we use this for is to communicate those listings to your clients. Including this phone number, one kind of logs it for you in case you lose your phone or your iCloud backup fails. But it'll also send a copy of the invitation to your clients as a text message. So if you're sitting across the table from them, they'll get that link. They can download the app, and before you even leave the coffee shop or they leave the office, they can have that connection already established. So it's a really nice touch if you're inviting them in person. And if not, it's just going to ensure that it's not going to get buried in an inbox if they're getting 1,000 emails a day like all of us are. It's going to give them a little bit more of a nudge having it sent to them as a text message. And then if you have anyone else you need to add, so partners, friends, groups, investors, we call them co-buyers because there's a lot of different relationships that these people fall into. This is what that screen is asking. Are there any other people that need to be included? So if Susie's searching with her partner, I can click to invite new, and I'll choose, this is another client of mine, and set up that second person. So Seth Sunshine, first, last name, email. Again, phone number, highly recommended, but not required. And we can just rinse and repeat until we've got all of our people added. If you've got a group of 12 people, bless your heart, you can have all 12 of them in there. It might get a little loud, but you can do it if that's what you need. And then next, And the la very last search is to just give the search a name, something that'll help you remember what it is you set up. So we can do something like the Sunshine Family, um, condos in Pack Heights, something like that, that can help you recall what it is that you set up. That way, in 3 months, if we need to come back and edit search criteria, we know exactly what search is searching for which or where that property notification is coming from. And then it'll take you to that feed. So if we give it just a second, it'll load all those listings. And this is what those clients will see when they sign into Zenlist, when they accept my invitation. So they'll already have all these properties waiting for them, populating for them to start reviewing right off the bat. I'm going to take you back to search for just a minute before we dive into clients, because in your search tab, there's a ton of other tools that are built into this. I mentioned broker tours. There's also your hot sheet report. When you sign up for Zenlist, you'll actually create a hot sheet, and it might be called Market Insights, I think is what it's called when you're prompted to do so. And this is going to send you kind of a daily recap of everything that happened in the locations you set up. So rather than having to get real-time alerts all throughout the day of every time a listing hits the MLS or there's a price change or a status change, it'll kind of recap all of that for you in a nice email each morning that you can use to start your day off. So if we
This
look
is
at,
similar to the hot sheets that we have in Rapatoni. Some of the things you're going to see is uh, there's innovation and emulation to a certain degree. Like we want to make sure that structurally the application, of course, feels different because it is a different application. But there's some things that we know that are customized to the San Francisco agent, broker tour being another one of them, hot sheet as well. So I love the
mhm.
way you guys have kind of worked our needs into the system that you guys already had in place.
Yeah. So we're looking at the last 24 hours. We've got a bunch of different options that we can look at. The further back you go, the more helpful the search statistics in the very bottom left become. So if you're meeting with a new client and, maybe they haven't really followed the market or they're relocating and they don't really know what's going on, and I would have no idea where to even start in San Francisco. I live in South Carolina, for context, a rural part of South Carolina. You might want to look at the last maybe like 6 months worth of activity. And we can use this to not only look at all of the specific property pins. If I can get those to show up, I'll zoom in far enough. There we go. We can see what closed in that 6 month time frame, what's under contract. But then you've also got your statistics, which will give you a bunch of math about it. So it'll show you what the average days on market are, the average list price, close price. And this is also dynamic in the sense that as you're updating your criteria, it's going to update the statistics you're seeing. So right now we're seeing everything. Go
Yeah, I
ahead.
love this is one of my favorite things that you guys have built. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting. But I love that as she moves around, notice how on the bottom left-hand corner, right now you see at 1,000, now it's only 186 listings. So as there's all these layers to this map as you're moving in, and then contextually, you're going to start getting all that data and the stats. I mean, this is I guess I think of it as real-time search statistics. You're just doing a hot sheet or search, if you will, and you're getting those stats on the fly. You're not having to go create a CMA. You're not having to do any of that. It just automatically happens for you. Yeah, that's quite a bit of data there. 3,000 listings. But again, remember, this is active pending. So what was this the past 6 months? Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
that obviously this amount of this wide swath is not necessarily going to be helpful for your particular client that's looking at Pacific Heights, but you get the idea. As you zoom in, you can get more granular.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Cool. So now let's talk about broker tours. So up at the very top, you'll have a filter for broker tour listings only. It's also in your filters option if you need to. And there are additional options to search by broker tour time. And the districts will also account for the time allotted on those Tuesday broker tours. If we toggle the broker tour on, it's going to eliminate anything that does not have an upcoming broker tour scheduled for it. Okay. And then we can further, again, filter this. Maybe I just want to see what's in Pack Heights. So I'll go back. I spelled Pacific wrong. Pacific Heights. Now everything I'm seeing here has an upcoming broker tour on it. And again, I can filter it further by property type, price range, bedrooms, whatever it is that I'm searching for. And HUD actually pointed out a good use case that a little bit towards the bottom of your filters here, you have options to search by either listing agent name, brokerage, office ID names, all of that. So you can see whose broker tours are coming up, or if it's your office and you want to see everything that's on tour tomorrow, whatever that use case may be, you've got that additional search capabilities here.
That is the use case. Literally, I had an agent from one of our brokers. So go ahead and put Encompass in there, for example, for the office name. Well, let's just do a quick demo. So I had an office admin say, hey, I really want to be able to, can I search for just the broker tours for my particular office or my company? And I said, well, maybe. So I tried in Rapatoni, nuts. I didn't get it. So I said, well, let's go over to Zenlist and see what you can do. One of my favorite things is look on where it says search for a filter right below where her cursor is. I just said, well, let me just search for listing office, or for example, and there you go. You got the listing office name or listing office IDs. I doubt that everybody knows their listing office ID for their entire company, but you certainly know the name of the company. So in this case, we put in Compass, and now you're only going to see, because it's toggled to Bay Area broker tour listings only, you're only going to see broker tours for the company of the brokerage Compass. So you insert Corcoran, Coldwell Banker, whichever brokerage you saw them use, whichever you happen to be part of. Vanguard, perfect. Throw those guys in there. And then you're going to see that you're only going to see listings. And if you change the view, like, maybe over to the agent view, and let's prove it. Open up one of these, and I guarantee they're going to be from the Vanguard brokerage.
So I'll just scroll a little bit over on the
And there you
right
go.
and
See,
Miss Rhonda Clark.
so it's that easy to do a very specific broker tour search. And of course, you want to print that out, you can, but this is the 21st century. So I'd encourage you to use the mobile app on your phone. Anyway, thank you for indulging me.
Yeah. So I also want to talk about the list view when we're talking about broker tours, because once you've searched for them, you've built all your criteria out, like what the heck do you do with all of this? How do I choose what I'm going to tour? How do I highlight them, or whatever that process is for you right now? I would recommend come into this list view, or you could do it in the tile view, but the list view is going to be a little bit more consolidated. So I prefer the list, and we can start previewing all of these listings. So we can click into one of them. It'll open that same listing details page for me, so I can decide if it's one that I want to see on Tuesday. And then I can just select these. So that little checkbox over towards the left is going to select. And then I've got this nice little, I like to call it a shopping cart. It'll give you that basket or that cherry picked list of properties. And so as we're going in and we're looking at each listing, it's going to stay stagnant. So I'm not going to lose anything as I'm clicking through each screen. And I'll just select all of them that I wanted to go tour. Let's pretend it's these 7. And I'll actually click to add it to a tour here. So I've got those 7 that I'm going to tour tomorrow. I'll click add to tour, and it's telling me I don't have any upcoming tours. And I'll show you what this looks like on the mobile app, because it's a little bit, I prefer it a little bit on the mobile app, because if you're waking up on a Tuesday morning and planning this, you're likely doing it from your phone. But we can create a new tour here, and it's just saying you don't have any upcoming tours because you haven't planned Tuesday's broker tour yet. That's what we're doing right now. So we'll choose that this is for myself because it's a broker tour. You can use the same tour folders for your clients if you need to, but we're going to do a broker tour for me. It's Tuesday the 9th, and create. And then when I go to this broker tour, I've got all those slots. I've got all those listings grouped together in a nice folder. I've got my route mapped out down here so I can see what order I'm currently going in. I can drag and drop them into a specific order if I need to. I've got the broker tour time. If there's an open house or any showing instructions, broker tour comments are here as well, so we can see all of that. And we can add additional stops along the way. So if I need to stop by the office and pick up my laptop charger or whatever that is, you can add those stops here. And you can also optimize the route. Now, the only caveat I'll give to optimizing is that Google does not care about the broker tour times. We've tried, they simply cannot accommodate the broker tour time slots. So that's the only thing I would keep in mind here, is that if we optimize it, it's not going to necessarily account for each time that the slots are open. So we can see this one's from 12 to 2. This one doesn't open till 3. So that one's not going to work for me. Maybe that's our last stop. And I'm on Eastern time, so this is going to be a little bit different. I'm like a 3-hour difference from you guys. So that's the only thing that I would keep in mind when you're optimizing the route, is it won't account for those broker tour times, but it gives you all that information so that you can help really plan out and streamline that day. And then Tuesday morning, we can wake up, pull this up from the app on our phone, and I'll show you what that looks like. But we can see it. We can add it to a Google Calendar or our Outlook, whatever that calendar application looks like for you. And you've also got your driving instructions. I learned when I was visiting earlier this year, everyone has everything memorized. That is not how my brain works. So I would need these driving instructions, and you can pull that up from the app on your phone, whether it's Google Maps or Apple Maps if you prefer. And if you're using this functionality with your clients, they can see what you have planned. They can't make any changes to it, but they can see what you've planned for them on Saturday, what time each appointment is booked for, and they have access to the same driving instructions. So if you're not carpooling together, they can see that. It'll remember the route we've organized, the order we're going in, and we know that we're not going to get lost along the way. No one's going to show up to the third stop instead of the second or what have you. All right. Real quick before I take you to the mobile app, we talked about search, we talked about hot sheets, we talked about saving a search, we talked about broker tours. I want to give you kind of a quick rundown on your clients here and then a couple of quick housekeeping over in that main navigation. So, looking at a client feed, if I click on my client April here, everything I'm seeing over here on the right matches April's search criteria. So you're going to get notified for a lot of stuff that your clients are doing. Anytime they send you a note, leave you a chat message, ask a question, anytime they save a listing, request a tour on a property, save a search, any of that really important behavior, you're going to get notified for by default. You can also come in to see different folders grouped together based on what actions they've taken on properties. So I can see April has saved 7 of them. I can click into that, and this might tell me what her preferences are, what those trends are looking like. And I've also got a full activity log in the very top right. And so this is going to show me everything she's done, every click, every listing she looked at, everything she liked or disliked. And you'll also have some statistics over on the right that can show you which one might be their favorite based on how many times they've clicked on it. So you're getting notified again, all the heavy hitters. You don't have to worry about coming in and checking this every day. But if it's been a couple of weeks since I heard from April, I might want to come in here and see what she's been up to, see if I can find a noteworthy action that I can use as a connection point to reach out to her, or if there's a property I might want to see if she's interested in touring. Lots of really valuable data in there for you to help make those connections and those touch points with your clients. You'll have your tours. We talked about those. My listings is really exciting. Inside of Zenlist, you'll have full listing management, either from the web application or the mobile app as well. You can actually enter a brand new listing or start a draft here if you need to. Yours will have a San Francisco MLS listing as an option for you, and I can show you what that looks like. But it'll prompt you through all of those different steps. It's a little bit difficult to demo, so I highly recommend go in and play around with it. Create a draft. It doesn't even have to be over a listing that you have coming up. It can be a listing, maybe it's your property and you're just going to use it as your example. We've listed HUD's property for $4 million 1,000 times in all of our demos. Go in there and just enter a
And not
draft.
one single offer. I'm just going to say, even in low inventory, nobody wants to buy a full $4 million home in Bayview. But let's keep trying, Jesse.
Yeah, just go in and enter a draft. Play around with it, see what it feels like, see what that looks like. It's not going to go anywhere unless you publish it. If you do publish a listing in Zenlist, it gets sent right to Rapatoni and then it's syndicated to all of the public search sites. It becomes a listing just like anything else you would enter into Rapatoni. But it's a very exciting functionality. I understand it's a little bit intimidating using something other than the MLS system to enter your listings. It's a very important thing that you're doing for your sellers when you're publishing a new listing. But you can also use this maybe to change a status or update a price, add a broker tour, open house, anything like that. So you can go small until you're comfortable with it. But I highly recommend come into your My Listings, check some things out. There's also List Track. I've got an account pulled up. You can see all of your active listings will begin to populate. We can see some activity on Zenlist. And then we've also got our list track integration as well, which will show you all of that activity across all of the different sites.
Yeah, this is gonna, if I may, this is something that we've been trying to deliver for a long time post a NorCal Alliance. And what you need to be able to do is show your agents, or I'm sorry, show your listing client, what kind of hits you're getting on your property. This not only is going to pick up the big blue section in the pie chart, which of course is Zillow, but it also picks up Realtor.com. It picks up Coldwell Banker's websites, but more importantly, it picks all of the Paragon MLS listings, Rapatoni services. So this really is a comprehensive view of your listing in all of our partners, which would be the NorCal Alliance, as well as all of the IDX websites that will give the data to the list track. This is very important. They will give the data to the list track. Redfin does not participate, for example. So if you don't see them on here, that is because the brokerage or the public portal website has decided not to engage to show their listing count. Do with that data whatever you want to do with, but that is the reality. The good news is uh, Zenlist was first to market with this, so it's great. It's graphically pleasing, allows you to, and I think you're already turning things on and off down there at the bottom, right? So in terms of things
Hmm.
you want to show or not show. But we finally got Rapatoni to finish their integration, so you'll now start seeing in Rapatoni. So we'll show that to you as well. This just illustrates that what we're trying to do is deliver in both systems. Anytime we're doing a new integration or feature, you're going to see it in Zenlist, and you're also going to see it in Rapatoni. You might see it in one of those platforms first, but that's called competition.
Love it. Love it. And so you'll have that list track integration. It's available in the mobile app too. So you can screenshot this, send it to your clients. There's a nice seller report that will copy all of this over to you. You can copy and paste it into an email. And then you'll also have that ability to, again, edit a listing if you need to. It'll pull up, yep, that authentication. It'll ask you to authenticate your MLS ID. It's a quick step. Once you do it, it'll remember it for a couple of months. But just to verify that you are who you say you are and you have permission to edit that listing is all we're asking for. So again, recommend go in, play around with it, click on your listing, see what that list track look information looks like for you, see what's valuable to your sellers, send it over to them and let, ask for their opinion as well. And then maybe create a draft. That would be maybe my challenge is create a draft listing, play around with it. You don't have to, you can delete it. It's gonna stay in Zenlist until you publish it, but that way you can see what that interface looks like.
I have a question though. I don't know if we brought this up, but you can see all of your old historical listings in here too, right? So even if you haven't, yeah, I can. So you're looking at some of their old historical listings. Great, yeah, because I think this just shows the connection between the two systems, right? Like you're going to see all your historical listings that you entered into Rapatoni. It's a symbiotic relationship.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then some heavy hitters or some rapid fire down in the bottom left, and then we'll switch to the mobile app. You'll have a notification center. Let me actually go back to my account. You'll have a notification center that will give you a rundown of everything that's happened since you last checked it. Think Facebook notification center. Susie liked your photo. John commented on your update, whatever that is. Give you that nice recap in case you've missed an email alert somewhere along the way. All of your chat threads are here as well. You can chat with your clients directly, share those listings directly with them. There's some cute emojis you can use. Use it as a nice touch point just to check in with your clients after a long weekend. And you can also chat with other agents in Zenlist. So Rob's a San Francisco agent. He's a good friend and a nice supporter of Zenlist. You can chat agent to agent if that's what you need. And then we'll close out of that. Your account page is where all of your settings are. This is where you're going to be adding a headshot, updating your email address, resetting your password if you need to. And then just above that is your support button. And this is how you get in touch with us if you need help. This is the fastest way to get an answer. So our support team's always watching this inbox. They get back to you in about a minute or two. It's about a minute and a half on average over the years. I'm available. My email is jessie@zenlist.com. So I'm very easy to find if you need me. But if I'm doing trainings like this all day, it can take me a couple hours to get back to my inbox. So if something's on fire or your clients need some help, they can't sign in, whatever that may be, the support team has got your back. They'll get it settled for you as soon as possible. But I'm also here to help if you need a little bit of one-on-one or you want to dive a little bit deeper into anything we've talked about. All right.
Having been someone that sends several people to Jesse with raving reviews. In fact, I will not call you out by name, but you happen to be in this call right now. So I won't say who it is, but I'm so glad that you guys were able to connect and get your answers or questions answered, I hope.
I love it. Yeah. No shame in the game. No silly questions. Only questions we don't ask.
Just
So I highly,
access. You guys provide great access, which is super.
yeah.
Thank you.
I'm gonna try to pull up my phone. See if I can share that so we can look at the mobile app. All right, if I've done that correctly, you should be seeing my phone now. This is what the mobile app looks like, very similar interface. So that navigation is across the very bottom. Like I said, it'll open to your search tab when you're defaulting in the mobile app. But we've also got our clients here. So if I need to check on April, for instance, I'll just click on her name, takes me to her listing feed. I've got those same folders and the client activity as well, so I can check on everything she's been doing. I've got my notification center up in the very top right. So that little bell with an 8 in it, that's going to be all of those notifications that I also got emails for these, but like I said, maybe I've missed one or something like that. I can come in and see all of that information. So if we click on this tour request for April, it'll open that listing details page for me. So I've got all those photos, all of that listing information available. The public remarks, I can see the listing agent's information here. So if I need to contact them or if I need to schedule something in showing time, I can do that. It'll have the broker tour details as well. So I can see this one has one tomorrow from 1 to 3 Eastern, whatever that maths out to be Pacific time. But I can also see if there was a past broker tour, if it's been repeated, tons of listing details. I've got some more agent information if I need to dive into that. I've also got realist data, which will show me some of that tax information. This is also pretty new, and we're looking for feedback on this as well. So if you have any ideas or something that you use in the MLS or realist that you don't have in Zenlist, definitely let us know. We'll see if we can get that added for you. Great mortgage calculator. Similar homes nearby, another kind of quick CMA tool. You can use this to see what was recently sold with similar characteristics, what's pending with similar characteristics, or if there's a active property nearby that might be a better fit for your clients if they really like the neighborhood but maybe not the house. You can use that to see what's available nearby, and then your schools and your property history as well. Perfect. Inside of your search, I want to walk you through broker tours just one more quick time so we can see what that looks like. Because, like I said, I do kind of prefer the mobile interface. And now that you kind of, we've got some foundational understanding, you could see my mouse. I want to walk you through that a little bit. So, in my search, I'm going to go back to California Combined. And in my filters here, I'm going to toggle on that broker tours only. So, I'm going to turn that on. Whoops, whoops. I'm going to turn on broker tours now. And you can also see I can select the different markets. Now, this isn't selecting the MLS that the listing was entered into, it's selecting the area that that MLS covers. So if I only want to see San Francisco broker tours, I can toggle that on. If I leave them all off, it's going to show me everything. Or if I just want to see the Berries, maybe the Bay East, whatever that looks like, you can select that different region that each MLS covers typically. My screen is lagging. Oh gosh.
Oh, no, I see it. Are you, is your phone lagging?
Yeah.
Good. We have a question. Are all clients registered in the SFR MLS automatically migrated to Zenlist? Do we have to input one by one? Yes. So, Grace, it's a good question. This is an invite-only platform, and the reason why that is important is it's the same type of relationship you have when you set up prospecting for your clients. This is not like a public website that people go and register and then somehow find you and link up. This is very much a proactive experience. So you would invite your clients, encourage you to do that so that you can have that kind of experience. If you do want to import, there's an ability to import, but I think you would want to do that with support, right, Jesse? If someone wants to import some clients. And the only reason I say that is because, you know, prospecting and getting people to set up on searches is such an intimate thing. It's like you're having that conversation with your client. Um, Hopefully, you're not just setting them up with a San Francisco search because can do so many layers of data that it's an opportunity for you to meet that person at your coffee shop. They ask you about listings or what's available in the area from your phone. Immediately say, "Here's everything that's available. Do you want me to? Do you want me to set you up as a client and you can just kind of check it out?" That's the idea. So can you bring everybody from your entire database into here? I mean, you could, but I'd be really careful about that. It's like CRMs. You don't import everybody into your CRM with no categorization. You got to eat your vegetables and decide exactly who you need to have with that direct client communication. I'm off my soapbox now. I just wanted to make that clear that that's the option. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, if we're talking about like brand new, just getting started, I would recommend pick one or two. Maybe your one or two most tech savvy clients, your millennial clients, pop those guys in there first, just so you can get some exposure to what it's like. Starting off with a dozen or more clients can get overwhelming because now you're managing all of those different notifications and the different searches. So I definitely recommend start small, utilize what's available for you in that free starter plan that's provided to you at no cost. And then once you've got some good understanding, you've got, your sea legs, you're comfortable, you're confident, you understand exactly what to expect, then you can kind of dive a little bit deeper and start talking about adding all of those different people. But Zenlist is definitely intended to be a little bit more of an intimate collaboration tool rather than, prospecting or a nurturing tool in that sense. I hope that helps, Grace. If not, let us know. We can chat. All right, I got my screen back. So I'm currently looking at broker tours in San Francisco. I can again go in, further filter that out if I need to by district, by broker tour time, by property type, bedrooms, bathrooms, price, all of that. And then if I just swipe up on the bottom here, so down here where it says 371 results, I'm just going to kind of grab that and pull it up. It's going to start showing me all of those listings and it's going to be sorted by broker tour time. So the first broker tour that's scheduled is going to be at the top. The very last one will be towards the bottom. And again, I can just start selecting those different listings that I want to go see. That shopping cart we saw earlier is this house over here, whoops, with the three in it. So that over on the left side of my screen, that dark circle with the three in it is going to be my shopping cart. And as I'm selecting them, it's going to grab them all for me. And then once I've picked out all of the tours or the properties that I want to tour tomorrow, I'll just click on that number 5, that house, my shopping cart, if you will, and follow the same steps. So I'm going to say this, I'm going to add it to a tour. This is the one we created just a minute ago. So we're going to pretend it doesn't exist and we're going to create a new tour in the top left. And it's going to say for myself because it's a broker tour. And this is for Tuesday, September 9th. And I'm going to create that tour folder. Let's see, tours. 5 listings is the one we just made. So very, very similar. I've got the route towards the bottom. I've got everything. I can start dragging. I can put them into the order I want to go see. I can see the broker tour time, all of the different notes, all of the different instructions, the listing agent's information. I also have a link to the listing details page so I can send it to a client if I need to after touring it, whatever those next steps are. And again, I can open all of that in. I might be due for an update. Maybe that's what's going on. My app might be out of date. In the top right, that little dot, dot, dot menu is going to be where your driving instructions are, where your calendar, you can add it to your calendar event, whatever those next steps may be for you. So you can follow all of the same steps. You've got time this afternoon to maybe think about what you're going to tour tomorrow and play around with things. I would recommend give it a shot. Create a tour folder for yourself, add some listings into it, and see how it feels tomorrow. If you have any trouble, let me know. I'm around all day tomorrow. I can help with things if I need to. But sometimes the best way to learn, like we were talking about, is to just kind of dive in
Go
and see
for
what
it.
that looks like.
Plus,
Yeah,
plus, if you're doing broker tour, the only person that you're harming is yourself. So you're not, you're not, you're just diving in a little bit. And again, when we use the term the MLS is in your pocket, I mean, everything the idea is this is for you to take it on the road when you go on tour. I envision a future where we already have about 2,500 of our agents using the basic version of Zenlist. Um, in a world where everyone can just communicate through one app and say, "Oh, by the way, I'm canceling this tour. I can't make it," and then that alerts everybody that the tour is canceled. All these little time saving tips, I think we can build in this application. And we have a quick question. Oh, Anne says she doesn't have any listings populate her broker tour after it is selected. Likely Anne has not created their first broker tour. Jesse, I know we probably run into this on a regular basis, but Anne, let me Anna, can you drop your contact information in the chat in the response? I'll make sure that gets over to Jesse so that she can do exactly what you said, help you with this your first broker tour for tomorrow.
definitely. Yeah, I'd be happy to. Uh, a little bit more rapid fire in the mobile app before we kind of wrap things up this afternoon. So we talked about your search, we talked about your clients. You've got those same chat messages. You can, again, respond to a client if you need to, reach out agent to agent directly from the app on your phone. Your tours is where all of those broker tour folders will live, current, upcoming, and past as well. And then the one thing that's a little bit different is inside of your account page. So from the app on your phone, this is going to be where that My Listings section lives. So if you're on your mobile app and you're curious to check out that list track integration or what have you, you're actually going to go into your account. This is one of the big things that's different between web and mobile, and that's because the screen is so much smaller. We don't have as much space to play around with. So if we go into account and then at the very top, I click switch to listings, that's going to open that My Listings tab for me. And so this is where everything that you have active on the MLS will populate. We can also see what was previously or what is off market, all of my historical listing information as well. If I click into that, I'll have that edit button where I can go in, update the price, update the status, whatever it is that I may need to do, or I can enter a new listing. You can start that draft from the app on your phone, which is really nice if you're kind of walking through the home and you're kind of collecting that information. You can just pop it right into the Zenlist app, and then you can pick it up from your computer, publish it, it gets sent to Rapatoni. Then if you need to make a change, you can do it from any of those platforms. It gets syndicated right away. So again, I highly recommend. My challenge or my homework for you would be to first sign up for Zenlist if you haven't already, and then if you have, to play around with the listing management and see what that looks like, see what makes a little bit more sense for you, what can help save you some time. And then the last thing in your account page, I bet I am due for an update. Let's see.
Yeah, I see possibly not a new iPhone in your future, but definitely a new iPhone. As you're
So,
looking through this, by the way, this is one of my favorite areas. We started earlier. We said, hey, those of you who have your own property website or your own agent website. Um, well, agent websites are great if you're thinking of it as a business card. People just need to know a little bit more about you. But let's remember, I mean, people are on Yelp, they're on Google reviews, as you're going to see, and other places, and Zillow reviews, that they're going to find your information. So likely they've done a lot of research on you that is independent from your website before they even get here. But one of the things that is one of the biggest challenges for agents that have their own homegrown websites is getting all of the data from the NorCal Alliance in that. After all, your clients are going to that website or trying to find you so they can search for properties. And so this little My Zen link and QR code, you can actually create your own profile that you can share. And I think, among other things, Jesse's probably going to go through some of that stuff. But I think it's,
yeah.
it's just part of your Zenlist account.
Yeah, there's tons kind of, I don't want to say buried in your account, but you can also do like agent lookups. You can find an agent's contact information. If you're into recruiting, you can see their production as well inside of Zenlist. You'll have that inside of your account. You'll also have that contact support button. It's my favorite button that I like to call attention to because the support folks really are just wonderful. There's Allie and Daniel, there's two of them. So you'll get to know them if you start having questions or feedback and suggestions as well. If there's something that we've missed the mark on, there is no ego in any of this. We'd love to hear it and have those conversations. And that's really how we've built almost all of Zenlist, is based on conversations with agents like yourself that are working with clients every day, and what you need and what they need, and what we can do to help bridge the gap and improve on processes. So you can contact support from the app on your phone as well if you need to. I'll actually take you back to web to talk about that profile, and then maybe we'll
Yeah,
call it
I
an
might wrap it up.
afternoon.
Yeah, I think so. And
So
I sent you Ann's information in your in Slack so that you guys can connect on that broker tour question.
lovely. I will be in touch, Anne. Thank you so much. So inside of your web application, this is the one thing you cannot do from the mobile app that I'm aware of. So when you sign up, if you're going to set up this profile, you're going to want to do it from your laptop or computer, but you can share it from the mobile app or whatever you need to. But all of that setup and kind of those preferences and planning is going to be from your laptop, and it's in this branding section. So the Zenlink public profile is already built into your account. So it started with the intention to kind of flip the invitation process. So rather than having to collect a bunch of emails and then copy and paste them into Zenlist and send all those invitations manually, it allows your clients or your leads, people that connect with you online, people that you meet at an open house, what have you, to request access to Zenlist because we are that kind of protected ecosystem. It allows them to say, "Hey, I want to work with HUD. This Zenlist thing sounds cool. I want access," and they're sent to you as a lead inside of Zenlist. So the profile is customizable. It has all of your information. You can write a bio, connect videos, your reviews, your production statistics, a listing map. There's tons of different things you can do here, and we have a lot of materials that can help you customize this when you're ready to kind of dive into it. But it does become a lot of places a replacement for Linktree or like your link in bio that has all of your resources connected in one place, a digital business card with all of your contact information, and a really nice opportunity to let people know in your marketing why they should be working with you and these tools that you can provide them with to kind of set yourself apart from Susie down the road, if you will.
And the other thing I kind of forgot to mention this, but one of the reasons for outbound client interaction or registering them is that your clients get access to a very specific data set that is not publicly available. You will not see coming soon data or canceled or off market listing. I'm sorry, sold off MLS listings in a public IDX portal feed. You're only going to see it in a these are MLS rules and guidelines. The only way you're going to see that is if an agent invited you to the application and showed it in that way. So keep that in mind that you're providing value by giving your client access to all of the NorCal Alliance data from one place.
Yeah, and you're also, I mean, doing yourself a little bit of favor, I think, as well, because in that protected ecosystem, your clients can only work with one agent at a time. Okay.
That's right.
And, I said earlier, we're never going to sell their information. We don't do leads. It's not the business we're in. And by golly, it's not the business I want to be in. So your clients are yours. Their information is safe. We use it to connect the two of you and to send everyone those listing alerts. But it really keeps that relationship that you've established with your clients at the heart of everything they're doing. They're not going to get calls from other agents. They're not going to start getting spammed because it's just the two of you searching for that next home or working together to sell their home if you're working with sellers. So lots of different flexibility options. Come in and check out the profile. It's a little bit more of an advanced thing. So maybe like start with a client, do a broker tour, kind of play around with some things. And then in a week or two, come to your public profile and start thinking about how you can integrate it into your marketing and kind of your outbound communication, your socials, your email signatures, your open houses, and things like that.
Wow. Well, I think we've hit our we're only going to go 45, so they got an extra 5 minutes. I don't see any additional questions, and this is by far not the last time we're going to be up here together, Jesse. I feel it. I feel there'll be more sessions in our future. Um, but please feel free to reach out to us here at the MLS team. But your direct communication is going to be within the app, within the profile area you just were, and support. These guys are really quick getting back to you. Jesse, it's always a pleasure.
Oh, pleasure's all mine. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate your time today.
All right, we'll see you.